I'm gonna preface this video by just saying that I made a video last night, didn't release it because I was talking about this comment here, and I was going point by point about it. It was a bit over long, which is why part of the reason why we're doing it. Another part of the reason is that this problem is very steeped in Digibro's video, which I didn't immediately realize, and I'd watched that video after I finished recording. And so, with that knowledge, this comment is a lot less cool, I guess. Not to shit on you, Existential Anime. I appreciate the long and, you thought about the comment. You thought about this, and I appreciate that, which is why I initially made the video in the first place. I wanted to respond to this and kind of encourage people who think about, you know, their comments before they write them. Even though, like, you kind of missed the ball, like, dropped the ball a couple here and there. But, anyways, I'm just gonna do this in short because I don't think I would have given this attention if I realized what kind of comment this was, but you know, it's fine. I feel like I'm gonna make the I already hearted it. I don't feel like taking off that heart, and you know, this guy, he seems to want to engage with me, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of doubt and assume the aspects which I think he obviously got from Digibro's video. He just came up with himself. I'm just going to try to assume that. So, yeah, point by point, in short. So here, he's just saying that, you know, Shinsekai Yori is, about Japanese culture, especially as it applies to school, and, molding people into working adult, you know, the perfect working adults and stuff. Sure, that's fine. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with Digi's interpretation of that, because I think that's what this guy got it from. Reason being, there's no one else on the internet that I saw that was talking about this angle. So I'm doubtful that that's an original idea, but it's fine. It's fine. As I said. I do not think that world building sucks because it doesn't fulfill my power fantasy. I think it sucks because it's boring, uninteresting, and it's told in a boring, uninteresting way, and it doesn't make any sense when you think about it too hard. And that's one of the things the show prides itself on. That's why I brought it up as a point, because people people say the world building is so good. No, it's just talked about a lot. It's not even well detailed. It is just talked about a lot. And that's not good world building. It sucks because it's a terrible way to tell it's a terrible way to talk about your setting, and your setting itself is actual garbage because of the reasons I said in my video. I have seen Dystopia before. I am going to be comparing this to Psychopaths, which I have watched and I have enjoyed thoroughly, like Digibro did. I think I'm going to take it a different angle. We'll see. It was never stated off. So basically, he's saying here that every psychic is like a nuclear bomb. And that is untrue. We see psychics easily taken out by conventional warfare in the show. They are taken out by bows and arrows, by explosives. Not even you know, special explosives, by just a regular explosion. People, we could figure it out, and we can figure those tactics out in today's society. It's not a psychic never even gets close to killing millions. They kill hundreds, and people are perfectly capable of doing that today. Which is why I said as much in my video. That's a running theme with this. He seems to misunderstand my points, or at least he doesn't really Yeah, I'm just gonna say he seems to misunderstand my points here. That I make in the video, and he doesn't end up disagreeing with a lot of what I have to say. So I know the show doesn't. So yeah, he's trying to say you should assume that they could kill millions because the show in the beginning is you know, they start killing people, so you should assume they can kill millions. No, you shouldn't assume that. What they show in the beginning, they show killing dozens at best. What they show in the show, how you know, a single psychic is able to you know, take on an army. Well, not quite, because Satoru, for example, got really tired after a long time of you know, killing isolated groups, and he was not really able to fight that entire big army. He just kind of made them scatter by using fear tactics, which is a thing that people could do, you know, normally and stuff. But and then we have the monk guy who also took on like a small army, but then was killed by a single explosion, which he was able, which he had enough time to defend against, but just couldn't defend against it. Which tells me that, you know, they can be killed conventionally, even if they're trying not to get killed specifically from a specific source. So yeah, this isn't a good assuming they are that strong is not a good assumption, because the show tells us otherwise. I don't understand genetics. I don't claim to understand genetics. My problem is the show claims to understand genetics, and then they have problems which the level of understanding that they have in the show should be able to solve, or at least should be able to be making leaps and bounds to solving. It should not be a hugely pressing issue. It should be mostly solved by because of the genetics, the understanding of biology and genetics they display in the show. They could edit the genome of creatures specifically. They can change the molecule of every cell in their body, the molecules of every cell in their body. That's what Tomiko does. She changes the molecular makeup of the cells in her body. That is what she is doing when she creates more telomeres. That is what she is doing. I know enough about biology to say that, definitely. Anyway, it's a narrative conceit. I agree that you shouldn't really harp on narrative conceits. For your point, but the problem is this is integral to the point. This is integral to the show. So in Star Wars, for example, it's not integral to the show that there is sound in space. I mean, it's not integral to the movie. It is just trying to sound good. It's not integral to the movie that the thing with the Death Star, the logic of the Death Star having a particular weak point. That's not the point of the movie. The point of the movie is not that the Empire is an evil genius unable to be conquered. The point of the movie is that the Empire is conquerable because of fucking determination of this group of rebels. That's part of the point of the movie. It's not about these logical ideas. But this show is about these logical ideas, which is why I'm criticizing them. Yeah, the characters don't exist, but Mamoru. Okay, so this guy is just here. I assume he was looking at the aspects where I talked about the characters, and he just doesn't understand what I'm saying about the characters. They're boring and uninteresting. That's the point I'm saying. Also, this point about Shun, Digibro brings this up as well, which is really which is what seriously is leading me to believe that this guy's just took Digibro's points and applied them to someone who disagrees, who agrees with Digibro, and that doesn't really work out. It doesn't really pan out well because you're not really disagreeing with me. You're just speaking about specific points that I make that aren't very integral to the whole narrative I'm drawing. Anyways, I don't think Shun's story parallels the pressures that Japanese kids have with Japanese schools, because I don't think that his specific brand of the disease that he has is reliant on pressure. Ogres, sure. Ogres are explicitly noted to it's because of stress that they decide to be suicidal. Sociopathic, fucking rampaging monsters, basically. But that's not what Shun does. Shun has this thing where he leaks out psychic shit, and he can't control it. Digibro said why it doesn't make sense for him to be to have been pressured, because it's a society which is trying specifically not to stress their kids out. They have had instances in the past where kids were stressed out, so it's important to them that kids don't be stressed out. So it doesn't really make any sense for that, and for it to be in this direction. And I didn't interpret it as Shun is encountering it this way. I thought that it was just some aspects of human life are not are not very accountable. So this particular disease he had, it's not explainable. It just happens. It was always going to happen. That's kind of what I thought about that. Though I think with their understanding of genetics, it should have been preventable, but whatever. Satoru and Saki was at this point I don't disagree with you. Yes, it's realistic. I say that it's realistic that they bond over this the tragedy of their lives, but the way it's done in the story is not engaging. It does not make me care about these people getting together. That's my point. And Saki's built as a PTSD. Saki does not have PTSD. She has not displayed any symptoms of PTSD, and the show says that, like, you know, like her ability to see traumatic, like, go through traumatic experiences and learn, like, you know, dark secrets of the world, and still come out as the same person. That is a big part of the story. She doesn't have PTSD. She does. She's a high defense rating against PTSD. That's what the show says, like, canonically. If you want to know what PTSD does, like look it up, dude. Like, she does not have PTSD. She does not display symptoms of PTSD. She gets shocked every so often about what she's seeing, sure, like when the fucking ogre girl comes over, like, you know, she's like, oh my god, that's their kid. Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. But she doesn't have PTSD from that. No, she doesn't. It just doesn't happen. Typical to invent the society. I know that was hyperbole. That's all I have to really say about that. I know she didn't invent the society, but she's the longest lived human, and she is the leader of the society. She could change it if she wanted to. She didn't have there are, yeah. I don't have to harp on this opinion. Like, I know she didn't invent the society. It was hyperbole. It was just like she played a big part in where the society is today. That's the point. You don't understand the ending in the slightest. Blah blah blah. So basically, here he's saying that I'm misunderstanding the ending because it has a different conclusion than the one I said, and that's an opinion, and it's not really backed up by anything in the show, because like the show is very like in terms of like what it's trying to convey in like on an emotional level, like it has hopeful it has hopeful music. It has like Satoru and Saki they're hugging her pregnant belly. And they're hopeful for the future. They have no reason to be hopeful for the future, because no one in society thinks that anything they did was wrong. That's the big issue here. The society is not proven incorrect, and so there's no reason to believe society will change. There's no reason to believe that they will teach future generations, because they've always kept these dark things, like these dark holes in their history, secrets. They've kept them secrets throughout their entire lives. Like, they don't, the kids never learn their history from the school. Why would they teach their history of this blood-soaked era in this society where they still think that they're doing the right things? Only Saki has any context for thinking about why they they're not doing shit right. And she doesn't even have strong opinions of it, because she hasn't expressed any strong opinions of it. She hasn't expressed any plans to make things better. That's my problem here. And I don't even think you totally disagree with me, because you seem to think that society is now worse off. And that is against what the show is trying to convey. I think it's a matter of opinion, because it's interpretive. But if you watch the ending of the show, if you watch that ending scene, it's a fucking hopeful scene. It has happy music. I don't understand where you get the idea that the show is trying to lead you down. It's gonna be it's not at all vague. They're trying to say that Saki eventually makes everything better. They don't explain how. They don't explain why. They don't explain while the show has a very good it's very good about explaining aspects about its world that frankly don't matter. It's very bad at explaining the character motivations and why characters think certain ways, especially when they're contrary to the society. And Saki doesn't even really have a strong opinion on those. Maria would have been a way better character to have at the end of the show rather than Saki. That's all I gotta say about that, really. Didn't know what he was talking about, but whoops, my bad. This last line kind of bites. I did watch the show. It's evident in my video that I watched the show through and through. I fucking went through the entire show. I went through specific pieces of the entire show. This is basically an incendiary statement that isn't correct. I appreciate, but in any case, I appreciate the subscription. I appreciate the comment, despite everything I had to say about it, because I'm a little bit off-put by this comment after some context that I have, but I do appreciate this level of fucking hell, what's the word? effort, I guess. This level of effort put into a comment, I think it's cool. So yeah, I look forward to seeing you in part 2, and hopefully you have a better arguments that disagree with me more. Yeah, so thanks for the comment, Anime. I'll watch your video, like, by the way. If you make a video about this, I'll watch it, and I might even respond to it, depending on how good it is. But yeah, that's all. Thanks. Bye.